hi there. Good evening. Been a little while since I've made a video. Uh, we'll try to get back into that because they are fun to make. Um, I have had other things going on. So, anyway, yeah, still, I'm quite happy with the diet plan I've been going about doing for the last 6 months. Lost about 25 pounds. Um, and not only that, it's staying off too, which is, a lot of people say, "Oh, you just put it back on," and that's not true. If you stick to a diet and really, for the most part, don't break your own rules, you can maintain, an appropriate weight level. I was surprised at Jason Unruh. He does Maoist Rebel News. I hadn't seen him in years. I hadn't seen any of his videos, and he has ballooned. And it's like, a diet plan doesn't have to you don't have to completely change your diet to improve your diet plan. Uh, I mean, removing red meat and pork is recommended. I mean, by all means, eat red meat and occasionally pork if you are the appropriate body weight and you do the correct amount of exercise. But if you don't and you are of a larger build, you should really think about not eating those, at least for now, until you can establish a better weight composition. Not only that, but I think also that a lot of where I had somewhat dormant muscles uh, are actually starting to show a bit more definition, and they just typically look a bit better, especially in my shoulders and my arms. And my legs too, as a matter of fact, are the main spots. I still have, fatty tissue, as they would call it, in certain areas. That got to work on it. Probably got to up my exercise in order to do that. The diet is where I want. The only thing is alcohol consumption, which is not good for a diet, and that's something I should tone down anyway. But given the kind of precarious situations that I'm in, a little bit of booze is probably good for my mental well-being. Because there's no doubt about it. Most of the people that watch my YouTube videos do not like me in the slightest. And I can live with that. I'm not. It's not a problem for me. I mean, if you're liked by everybody, then you seriously do have a problem. Uh, and that's. I thought this was a free country. I thought I was allowed to have opinions. There are people out there who don't like people having opinions, and they will try to shut you up. And as I've said before, like that's what they want out of me. They want me to go quietly into the background and fade away into sort of just like not in the spotlight sort of thing. So that's why I don't get many YouTube videos views. Hardly anyone comments on anything I do. In fact, nobody talks about it at all. And I feel like there's a lot of things I could explain that would, answer maybe questions that some people may have. Like, for example, on my Facebook in particular, I'll throw up a clip there from YouTube. I mean, the clip doesn't belong to me. I didn't even know some of them existed until I stumbled upon them while I was surfing YouTube. And, I don't really see what the problem is as far as putting that on obnoxious social media like Facebook. Um, But the problem is that there are people who don't like me, and the type of people that don't like me are ones that will use excuses. It doesn't matter if they actually believe their own excuses or not, but they most certainly have less than, my best interest in mind. And you may go, well, nobody even knows you. Nobody's you. Who do you know? You don't have any friends. Blah 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 blah. Nobody talks to you because you're a loser and this and that. And it's like, yeah, but I gotta take medications that are bad for me, like very bad for me. They make me like sick, like you wouldn't believe. And if I don't take them, I feel even more sick. So it's quite a fucked up ideological philosophy on this stuff. Um, these medications I'm prescribed, they're horrible. I was taking one by the name of olanzapine, and I've been taking that for a few years now because I thought that would dilute the Invega that I had been forced to take. Um, because, I will take what a medical professional has to say seriously. But at the same time, I wasn't obligated to take Invega. I wasn't obligated for part of the time I took Clopixel, but some part of the time I was. And didn't miss an appointment. I did everything right. And I was still, I was getting my ass kicked by this medication, like big time. And now it's olanzapine's turn. Now, the problem with olanzapine is that it's bad for triglycerides. Um, I didn't have the best, physique, body, ratio to certain things like triglycerides or, just fat and all that sort of stuff. But I didn't have the worst, not by a long shot. Look, I'm out and about. I'm in the public domain quite often, and there are so many people who are obese, and obese is different from being overweight. Obese is you got to be fatter to be obese, and they do not appear to have the same type of problems I'm having. And the amount of grinning idiots I've had to talk to who are, who are advocates for this type of medication, um, I go, this is not in my best interest, and I was taking it because it was doing something for my sore throat. So let's make this clear. I am not obligated to take this olanzapine at all, and I haven't been the entire time I've been taking it. However, I went a few months anyway without any at all, and nothing happened except my body all of a sudden shut down one day, and it was quite frightening. Actually, it would be for anybody. Um, However, it's causing a lot of chest pain, and it's only masking the sore throat. The second I don't take olanzapine, the sore throat comes back with a vengeance. And I don't like the idea, I dislike the idea of psychiatrists, ones that hold grudges, because the smallest little things piss them off. And once they're pissed off, that's it. They're pissed off for the rest of their lives about that particular subject on that, whatever it is that they don't like. Um, and, there are people out there who are just nasty, vicious, vindictive people, and they're in positions of power for some screwed up reason. And, yeah, so I don't like the idea that they can pull this sore throat out like a rabbit out of the hat whenever they want, because they've decided to be offended by whatever it is. Oh, he listens to AC/DC. He's a bad guy. Oh, he collects pickle hobs. He's a bad guy. And it's like, well, you're just a nasty little creep, aren't you? Like, why do like you're actively trying to cause me grief, and it's like, why don't you dig up some evidence, instead of excuses, to cause me the kind of grief that you're causing me, because you're putting me in an unpleasant situation, and after 8 years, that truly is psychotic. I mean, uh, at least we don't live in Chinese communist China, because I probably would have been, rolled up in a carpet and thrown off a bridge or something by now, because I'm contradicting not only mainstream society and their mindset on what things are supposed to be like, because I've got a different opinion. I've also, figuratively given the fuck you to the pharmaceutical industry. They don't want to hear the kind of things I've got to say about them, because their tricks are not actually very good. And once you know what they are, they don't work at all. Because they're just sick fuckers. They like abusing people, and that's what bullies do. And, I think, anyway, that what it is they like to crank up the treatment aggressiveness, and certain people, not me, but certain other people with whatever disorder they have, will behave badly under stress, and they use this as a pretext to amp up their treatment plan. And for some people, they don't know how to react, and they go around and around in circles, and then the treatment plan gets harsher and harsher and harsher. And all of that could have been avoided if, the people in the white coats weren't actually the ones that are a bit fucked up in the head. I mean, these are scary assholes who want nothing more but to experiment pharmaceuticals onto unsuspecting people. They don't want you to know what your rights are. You don't have any rights. It didn't work on me. I mean, I feel really crummy quite a lot. But no, I'm not going to have a psychotic breakdown. No, I'm not particularly depressed. I mean, there are things that piss me off, obviously, but, will they ever get the pretext to do what they want, which is probably, do something to my brain, like start chopping at it or something, or something horrible. I don't know what. Electroshock, something I don't want. And since I'm never going to give them the opportunity to do that, right now, all it is abuse. It's abuse. Putting me in this situation, keeping me in this situation, and then creating stressors, the silent treatment, the physical discomfort, the fact they don't, there's no signs that anything is changing. They all want to keep it the same. In fact, they want to go, well, we don't want this man being bitter about it his whole life. What we did, so we'll pretend it doesn't exist and treat this guy like a complete moron. Well, except I do remember 8 years of a sore throat, kind of hard to forget. And you telling me that it's, some sort of, like I'm thinking about it too much and therefore making it worse, blaming me essentially is what they like to do. Like my triglycerides, the first thing the doctor said was, this is your fault. And it's like, no, actually, big part of this is actually your fault. And it's very disrespectful. And, so now, instead of having just the sore throat and head feelings and things like that, like it's like a chemical thing going on in your head where it's just like, you feel like there's so many hard situations to describe. It's like almost like where you lose focus in your vision and then all of a sudden you regain it, and it causes like that little head jolt. And it's like little things like that all the friggin' time, and they're damn scary. They are. Um, but yeah, they don't listen. They don't want to hear my side of the story. They want me to graciously accept their wisdom in the medications I should be taking. And like I said, no. They're habitual liars. They can't help it. Nobody would ever listen to them if they ever told the truth about anything. And how can you trust people like that? When you know they're liars. And people go, well, if it's written on paper, then they're telling the truth. And it's like, yeah, because it's on a piece of paper from a liar, that means it must be the truth. So when they show me my blood work, because it's on a piece of paper, that means all of a sudden they're all trustworthy and all that. No. Maybe for most people who aren't in my current predicament, but not for me. I question things. Because although I got chest pain, I'm told it's not to do with my heart. Even though I distinctly feel that right there going, oh, this fucking hurts. So I do think my chances of getting a heart attack or a stroke are very limited. This is all psychological, remember? They are trying to make me think my body is shutting down and therefore go along with their idea, especially with this cholesterol medication that some professionals want me to take. And it's like, I don't even know if that is actually going to do anything for my chest pain. I don't know that. They won't say. And in all likelihood, it probably won't. Because why would they want me to be comfortable? It seemed like abusing things. And, yeah, it's, like I thought I could have shook this off by now, but it's like, these assholes, like, seriously, get a fucking life. And yeah, they don't like what I have to say, that's for sure. Because they want to be on psychiatric medication the rest of my life, and it's like, no, why don't you take it if you think it's so great? I mean, and then there are other things too, like it can shrink your brain. I mean, it shuts down the excess of dopamine in the brain, which is part of the pleasure center. So, things you get less enjoyment out of, this is like attacking you in every single way possible. And, yeah, so, if you're not making dopamine in your head or whatever else, it becomes a redundancy. It's not as important in the brain, and therefore it withers. So the thought that your brain might actually be shrinking when you're taking psychiatric medication, that sounds like a legitimate threat. Oh, they're doing nothing. They're just shrinking your brain. Don't worry about it. And you can't tell that to certain mental health patients because, well, it's scary as shit. That's why. However, there are others who go, yeah, but if I don't have to take it for the rest of my life, then guess what? It's not going to shrink my brain. And I still have quite the cognitive ability to think. And I don't thank medication. I don't thank the treatment plan I've received for any of that. In fact, you won't get a thank you out of me for anything. These vicious assholes and all the things they did, they get so many people who manage to get through their program and say the things they want them to say. And what they don't understand is that they're permanently under their control. And when they want to be assholes, they can do it. And it's like, no, I don't want people having the capability of being assholes towards me because they feel like it. I think it's kind of sadistic. And, I'm not going to give you the opportunity. That's as simple as that. So I know things that can piss them off, like just little things here and there. Just post something up on Facebook. Really piss them off. Because I'm, I think I'm a reasonable individual. I like to think that. I honestly do think that. I mean, I didn't go around giving somebody a sore throat for 8 years. I didn't increase somebody's cholesterol to the point where They were in serious trouble with their blood work. I don't have intentions on making people take medications for the rest of their lives. I didn't do any of that stuff. You did it. And yet I'm the one who people go, oh, he's a creep. Stay away from him. And it's like, back up your fucking words or just back up. Because you're being an asshole. Anyway, talk to people later. And yeah, have a good one.